Fall is here. The leaves are changing. The gardening season's coming to an end, and yet today it is about 25 Celsius. It was a pretty warm afternoon. Fall is my favorite season, and maybe that has something to do with the way I've been feeling these last few days. A couple of days ago it was raining for the first time in quite a while, and I was feeling so content and feeling joyful that I was in my cozy little new home making a pot of soup, and which I'm going to try and show you some of the footage of. My first attempt at filming cooking. Bear with me on that. But even doing tasks that I used to really try and put off, that I really didn't enjoy, things like doing some laundry or sweeping the floor, just tending to my home. And now I am finding so much zen in the little things, the little tasks that I have to do to keep my home feeling like a cozy haven. I'm out for a little bit of a walk down by the river near my sister's house. She's probably going to be mad that I didn't tell her I was coming for a walk. We're meeting to go for a movie, and I hadn't been out for a walk yet. I'm incorporating some major changes into my life, into my lifestyle, and I'm going to be sharing those with you in some upcoming videos. Something that really impacted me, something that I watched that really impacted me and has caused, let's see if I can get more light here. Well, that's too much light. Something that has caused me to, well, it really impacted me and is causing me to make some serious changes, which needed to be made because, I haven't been feeling well, and I'm waiting for some further testing. I think everything's fine. I don't think it's anything major. I don't think it's anything that these lifestyle changes can't make a difference to. So I'm going to finish my walk, and then I think we'll go back to my home, my new home, and I'll show you some of the cooking footage. Nature. Welcome to Zia's soup making class. I am not an expert cook by any stretch of the imagination, but fall is my favorite time of the year, and today was a rainy day, and I was actually having moments of real joy. I was doing dishes, something I never really cared for, doing some laundry, tidying up my little home here, and it was filling me with joy. And you know, I've talked about enjoying the little things before, but for me that never included homemaking. I like to have a nice home. I like to have a clean home, but I didn't particularly enjoy some of the tasks. And I was never really really into cooking, but I'm looking forward to it this fall. And one of the things that I love to make is soup. And today I'm going to make a curried butternut squash soup. and I may add one surprise ingredient to it. So I started cutting up my butternut squash. I'm going to roast it first. You can make butternut squash quite easily without roasting it, but I think it will just give it a lot more flavor, give it time to caramelize a little bit, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop it into small chunks, roast it, and I'm going to toss it in some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and maybe either a little bit of thyme or a little bit of sage, or maybe even a little bit of both, and roast it at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes until when I press it with a fork, it starts to kind of squish. So I'm going to carry on with that. It's going to take me a little while, so I'll come back when it's all chopped up and in the bowl. This recipe calls for 5 cups of butternut squash, which I have in the bowl here. I've got to get myself a pepper grinder, salt pepper grinder. I used to have them. And I don't seem to have any sage or thyme, but I do have a little bit of Italian seasoning, so I think I'm just going to use a bit of this. Try and get it all spread out in a single layer. Okay, we'll check back on that. I'll set the timer for 30 minutes. Might take 35. I don't know this oven very well. In fact, I think this is the first time I've used it except for making frozen pizza. So we'll see how that goes. Here are my ingredients for my butternut squash soup. I actually did need the extra butternut squash. I'll give you all the measurements in the description. So we've got butternut squash, we have celery, carrots, onion, minced garlic, curry powder, lime juice, and I didn't have a jalapeno, so I put a little bit of Thai red curry paste, tiny bit of grated ginger, coconut milk, and vegetable broth, and we need a bit of oil as well. So let me get this in the pan and get this going. I think my element here isn't working properly. I noticed that yesterday too. I think it stays on high. I turned it right down, but it was still burning hot, so I've had to move to the back burner. So first of all, I put the onions and garlic in, and somebody had told me, and it's in olive oil, somebody had told me that it's a good thing to put your spices in with the onions and garlic. So I did that. I put the curry powder, I put the red Thai curry paste, which was in place of a jalapeno because I didn't have that, and I don't like food that's too spicy anyway, so I just put a little bit of the curry paste and a tiny bit of ginger in. And now I'm just cooking the carrots and celery. Put the butternut squash, came out nice. Vegetable broth. The last thing is the coconut milk. So all the ingredients are in now, and I'm going to bring this to a boil and then turn it down and let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then at that point, the immersion blender and blend that all up. And then I'm going to add my secret ingredient. You have to stay tuned for that. Okay, the soup has been on for 20 minutes. Everything's cooked through. And now I'm just going to use the immersion blender on it to make it a little smoother. I love this soup by itself, but I think I need a little bit of protein. So you could put chicken in there if you wanted to. That could be really nice. I'm going a little more vegetarian these days and trying to eat a little more plant-based foods, whole foods, based on some tests I had done recently and on the suggestion of my doctor. So this is what I'm going to put in for protein. Chickpeas. Now, I have no idea how many chickpeas to put in. I think maybe I'll put half. This would be like half a can. I've rinsed them. And I may even blend them up a bit. I'm not sure. Let's do a taste test. No, honestly, I have no idea. This could go really wrong. But I'll be honest with you if it's good or bad, or if it needs anything. Looks good, smells good. That's actually really nice. I like a really creamy soup, so I think I'm going to blend the chickpeas in with it and give that a try. And I think it needs a little, I'm not sure what. Let's blend up the chickpeas. And I think the chickpeas really added a nice creaminess to it, and I'll get my protein. I might even add in some more. I'm gonna let it sit for a while and let the flavors blend a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. You know what happened though? I had everything all prepped and ready to go, everything all measured out, chopped up. I was getting ready to put the soup pot on, and I realized that what I thought was a carton of vegetable broth was a carton of tomato soup. So I had to get on my shoes and jump in the car and go and get a carton of broth, but it all worked out in the end. So, and now it's like 10 after 7 and I haven't had any dinner. So I think I'm going to leave this here for now and see what I need to adjust later, and then I'll dish up a bowl and show it to you. Hello everyone. It is the next day and the soup is finished, and I'll have to do a proper taste test now, so let's just see. That's good. Not perfect, but it's good. I'll tell you what I think happened. When I finished making it yesterday, there was a slightly funny taste and I couldn't figure out what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it. And I think it was either that I used, oh, I think I'm a little bit crooked here. Sorry about that. I think it was either that I used a little bit, just a minute, I'm gonna get a chair. Just a minute. Okay, that's better. I think what I was tasting was either a tiny bit too much ginger. It was fresh ginger grated into it. It was a tiny amount. I wasn't sure if it was too much ginger or maybe too much lime juice. It called for the juice of a whole lime. And you know, it's funny. I think when you're following somebody else's recipe, especially for the first time, something in my head said, that seems like an awful lot. And so I think we need to pay attention to that when we're cooking. You can always add some more in later. If you think it's going to be too much or something that you don't like in it, maybe hold off and see how that goes. So I have a huge stock pot. It's full of this soup. It was a really big butternut squash. And I think I was planning on sharing it with my sister and a friend. And I thought, no, I'm just going to freeze it in portions. It's edible. I'll just save it for myself. And then I decided maybe I could help a little bit. So I did put chickpeas in, but I only put in half a tin. So what I ended up doing was I blended the leftover chickpeas with more of the coconut milk. And that has made a huge difference. There's still a slight little something there, but not enough to put anyone off eating it, I don't think. There were much simpler recipes available. A lot of them didn't roast butternut squash first. They just put it in water and boiled it and then blended it up. I thought the roasting would give it a much nicer flavor. I'm sure it probably did. I don't know whether I'll make this recipe again. If I do, I'm going to make some notes now and cut back on a few things because I do love a cream soup, and butternut squash is one of my favorites. I will try and leave a link to the recipe below. The ginger that I added in actually wasn't in this recipe. Maybe that was my mistake. It was in a different recipe, and I thought it might be quite a nice addition. So I might not do that next time, or would certainly do a minuscule amount in there. But this is good. This is good. I'm happy. And yeah, I'm going to eat my soup. And of course I'm getting my protein too, because there's a whole can of chickpeas in that pot of soup. So that's it for my first cooking video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit hard to film too because I dropped my tall tripod and two of the clips on one of the three legs broke, and so I couldn't stand it up anymore. So we'll have to rectify that. Anyway, fall is here. It's soup season. So I hope you give the recipe a try. If you do, let me know how you like it. And if you have a recipe that you want to share, put it in the comments or put a link to it if you can do that. All right, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. I love you all so much, and wherever you are in our incredibly beautiful world, I hope you're having an amazing day, and I hope you have a great week coming up. It's cozy season. It's soup season. Bye-bye.